Howdy, folks. It's your old pal keeping it country. How you doing? Let's have a very serious conversation today in lieu of some of the things that are going on in the music industry today, such as with Sean P. Diddy Combs and the accusations being brought across to him. Let's be honest. Can we be honest? In the court of law, he's not guilty until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. With that said, in public opinion, he's guilty as hell. Video don't lie. I will leave it to you all to do your own investigations. I'm not going to drop names here because there's going to be people who are going to be associated with him, which are going to be accused, and people are going to think are guilty by association, and that's not right. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't going to end up being guilty as heck. What I am going to say is in the next months, year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, however long this thing's going to take to come full circle into fruition, there's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot, of ugly. There are going to be people who are going to be called disgruntled employees, guilty by association, just because they knew him, they were in his inner circle, or they were in his circle. And that's not for me to sit here and pass judgment on anyone for anything. What I am going to say is a lot of people ridiculed me and ha ha ha, yeah, that's right, and just blew it off. I have been saying this for years. This doesn't only happen in the music industry or Hollywood. It happens in all business where you have people that have the power over other people. They become so big that they think they're above the law, or that the rules don't apply to them, or they get some free pass. That's simply not true. My biggest thing with this on here, I'm talking to you, my artist friends, and my friends in the music industry. If you know of anyone doing things like Diddy's being accused of doing, or Harvey Weinstein was accused of doing, or the Masterson boy was accused of doing, or Epstein was accused of doing, have a voice. Stand up and say what's right, because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And if you don't feel comfortable, or you feel threatened if you come out, if you want to say it, if you don't feel that you can say it because you'd be threatened, come to me. I'll address it without using your name, without implying or incriminating you in any way. Because the fact is, this kind of behavior is despicable, ugly, and so hurtful to other human beings. How can a human being do things like the accusations that are being brought to other human beings? In our little cocoon that we live in, because we're separated from it, doesn't mean it's not happening. Sex trafficking is happening around the world every single day. People are abusing their power every single day. When are we as humanity going to stand up and say, enough is enough? We've had enough of your crap, and we're no longer going to stand for these type of actions anymore. I'm one person. I don't have a problem speaking out. I will call right is right and wrong is wrong. But this is really, really for the artists who I have associations with or know, who are young men and women. If anyone, and I mean anyone, I don't care if they're a producer, if they're a band member, if they're your best friend, if they're doing inappropriate things, come to me. I'll handle it. May not be the way you want it handled, but I will handle it. Because I adore all the artists that I've had the honor and privilege of meeting face to face, sitting down, having conversations with. And I think a lot of each and every one of you all. And I would be very remiss if I stood by and didn't say something about the way things are in this music industry, in Hollywood, all of these things. And the problem with this is these are not new. This stuff has been happening. I'll be 65 years old next year. This has been happening before I was born. It should have been unacceptable then. It's darn sure unacceptable now. But yet, we keep letting it happen because nobody wants to stand up and say, hey, you're wrong. Because I'm going to tell you, as a man, if any other man, I don't care if their name, if they were a CEO or an upper executive or running a country or a general or whatever, you punch or smack or hit a woman, I'm going to jump up and I'm going to smack and punch you right in your mouth. And we're going to roll. Because that is the way I roll. We don't allow men to hit women, period, ever, for no reason. And trust me, I get some of them in our minds may deserve it. The problem is they're still a woman, and you never raise your hand to a woman. Ever. You sure do not use your influence over a young person or a female or a male because you have influence over them to make them do or act in immoral ways that goes against their morals. But because they are so, feel that they are so in need of this gratification or this pat on the back or just to be accepted, that they have to compromise their integrities to satisfy some despicable person's perverse thoughts and views on how things are supposed to go. That sucks. And I, for one, will not stand for it, ever. And I know a lot of people go, oh, well, you're just listening to the internet and the web and you're just listening to the fake news. And no, I'm not. There again, you need to do your own investigation. I will throw this tidbit out. There is somebody who just resigned from the Warner Music Group. That used to house Bad Boy Records. There again, I'm not using names. I'm not going to do that. Because then I am just adding to the white noise and throwing out associations. So, oh, well, they must have known about it. Oh, they couldn't be his friend without knowing about it. They couldn't have went to the party without knowing about it. This is just so disgusting to me that I even have to do a video like this. But we seem to put all this stuff in, and I guarantee you 8 months to a year, everybody, it's just going to go on by the wayside, just like R. Kelly. Did y'all forget about R. Kelly? I haven't. I don't forget about none of those people. This is so personal to me. It just, with every fiber of my body, irks me to no end. So, if you are an artist, if you're a producer, if you're just a person in general, you ain't got to be in the music industry, you ain't got to be in Hollywood. If you're at work and people are harassing you, or, you know, making you do things that you feel are immoral to you, come to me. Let's bounce off some ideas. Let's have a conversation. Maybe I can give you a direction to go that you're comfortable with going. And at the very least, if not, then I can take it in a direction that will be through no fault of yours. And that will not come back on you for what they call reprisal. And anybody that's been around this world for a minute knows that reprisals are illegal and can be held accountable if implemented. So, before I get too worked up on this, because this just irks me to no end, I've been telling people that wanted to hear it or not hear it for years and years that this has been going on long before me. It's still going on. It's still happening. And now, guess what? Yeah, it's still happening. You still have casting couches. You still have Harvey Weinsteins. You still have the Epsteins. You still have the R. Kellys. You still have the Masterson boys. You still have people who, when they get power, they abuse that power and use it to twist and manipulate people into doing things that if they were in their right mind, they normally would not do. But because of maybe circumstances, maybe their mom's dying, maybe their dad's dying, maybe their child's dying, they have to do something that they don't feel comfortable doing, but they're going to do it because they need that money to help out their family. And that totally sucks when people do that to other people. So, I'm sorry this is such a heavy video on this one, but I feel that this needs to be said. This needs to be brought to the forefront. We need to start having discussions like this. We need our elder statespeople to act like elder statespeople and quit acting like children and throwing the name and blame game at each other, and start doing what's right for us. Because that's where a lot of this comes from. People are going, well, look at our candidates. They're acting like children, so I guess I get to act like a child. And I can do whatever I want to do and not be held accountable. That's bullshit. Plain and simple. You are accountable for your own actions. Every single one of them. And as harsh as this is going to sound, if you're not standing up when you see something wrong going on and you don't say something, you're accountable. Yeah. It sucks, but the truth usually does. So, all right, folks, let me get off of here. I mean, 17 minutes of ranting and raving and whatever. I just want my artists, friends, and the people who know me, if you feel you have no other recourse, you have nowhere else to turn, you have me. And whatever we discuss is between strictly you and me. It's not for me to repeat. It's not for me to take action on, other than on my own. And I will accept all responsibility of my actions without bringing a third party into it. So, as I'm in all of these, I wish this for nothing more than this to really, really come true. I mean, my kids and my grandkids are growing up in a world that I don't even recognize hardly anymore. But remember to be kind to one another, and remember to love one another. This is your old pal keeping it country. I'm keeping it real for you. I love you all.